yourself to make a decision, not civil servants.
No,
because
we want legal guidance.
You are like a speaker of parliament. You cannot raise a matter to the speaker and then he says, call me the director legal. It cannot happen.
I think now you are battling, Honorable Ssemujju. Why should you come quietly? Okay, so I think that the only problem, I think the way Honorable Ssemujju
to the minister as even he ponders to present his supplementary expenditure appropriation bill tomorrow, he should also make note that we are seeing money to National Council of Sports for 152 billion for OIMA, yet OIMA is being considered in the financial year 2024-2025 budget.
Honorable Mara.
Yes.
You are now discussing an issue which is not there.
Chair.
On the consistency. Yes, you are very right. So we shall need documents to be circulated first before we go into it. And the minister brought talking notes the other time for this, but they are very, very...
They say budget neutral, they require no additional funding. Because you see, the Honorable says, if they ask you to come to Parliament dressed in a jacket, you cannot say, but it was very hot here, I did not need a jacket. That's the requirement. For me, the requirement is that you bring a certificate. All the things you have said can actually be the certificate. But the certificate must be brought. And all the answers you have given me, please put them in a certificate to say this is a backward looking, therefore the expenditure is zero, and so on and so forth. But you cannot say that you will by yourself remove this requirement every bill. So if people who made this law are stupid, they made it. I said if they were. Then you will seek to improve the law like you have done. Actually, this law has been amended before. So, Chairman, I think it's going to be very difficult for this committee to process this bill that does not meet the legal requirement. So that's what is stated.
How do you, the lawyers here, how do you call a requirement which is really redundant? Something that actually doesn't give you, that's nonsensical. Because when we and to inform the country how that bill is going to be implemented and what the resource envelope will be. Because it says the certificate of financial implication issued under subsection 1 shall indicate the estimates of revenue and expenditure over the period of not less than 2 years. It's forward looking, not less than 2 years. If you are bringing a bill, how are you going to implement it? Give us the cash outlay for the next 2 years, not the minimum of the next 2 years. So I think by implication, this supplementary appropriation bill, at any one stage, when the minister appeared before the House, he actually indicated the source of revenue for every bill. And we proceeded to supply and approve it based on the information given at that material time. I think the requirement at this way, the law is not, the intention of the law is not, with respect to this bill, is not backward looking. Actually, it's not backward looking. So whereas it's not provided in the law, we can proceed to process this.
Okay.
Purposefully as a
okay. Honorable Ssemujju, I know there's somebody confusing you behind there. There is somebody pushing you for nothing because there is somebody there. I'm not saying you are confused, but there's somebody trying to confuse you behind there. Please. Stop that. Yes. Yes.
He did not read 4. because the impact on the economy will be standard. If you borrow the money, for example, you cannot tell me that whether it is forward or backward, that there was no impact on the economy. This particular supplementary, we borrowed to finance it. And the section says, it lists what the Vice Chair has said, but it also says the impact of the bill to the economy. So you mean this bill affected the economy?
But that section you have said the last is closing all our arguments. It says it's deemed. But let's also accept that these laws are also supposed to be addressed together with the substance. You must have the substance of the action. Honorable Minister, these laws, the legal things are there, but the substance of the actions must be there. Yeah, he will check whether they applied it according to the approvals. Yes?
Of UDC would not even arise, and it has been raised.
UDC?
The issue of your UDC would not arise in the manner in which it has been raised. Had the minister complied, but not late, Honorable Minister, we request you, UDC was established by an act of parliament. Give it a vote so that it is independent, self-accounting, and can implement government programs.
Okay.
And you can hold it accountable.
Okay, they will decide, take a decision. They will go and do that. Okay, Honorable Minister, you can take leave. We expect you, Honorable Minister, back in the afternoon with whatever adjustments you are making to the next. Colleagues, we have exhaustively sought for legal advice, and we have also probed the advice until we have found a conclusion. The advice is based on the laws of supplementary, processing of the supplementary budget. A supplementary budget, as per the legal laws, is the business of the whole House. The whole House can only delegate it to the Budget Committee to do the processing on their behalf, or the whole House can process it. Now that the House, this letter of supplementary request is dated 13th May 2024. And when you look at all those days, from 13th to date, the House has not sat. It therefore means that this one has not yet become business of the House. And as such, there is no way the House could have delegated it to this committee to handle it on their behalf. As such, as such, now, Honorable Ssemujju is on anticipation of what I'm going to. As such, it will be illegal for this committee to start processing this supplementary request until it becomes business of the House. And then the House will decide either to process it there or delegate it to this committee. As such, Honorable Minister, thank you for coming. I really apologize for inviting you prematurely. So, we shall advise you to take it to the House, and then the House will decide the way forward, either to sort it there and then, if you can go there ready to process in the whole House, let it be. If they refer to this committee, then we shall expeditiously handle it. Thank you very much. But Honorable Minister, you can greet these members. Honorable Lulu Mebaiga.
For Finance, Honorable Musasizi, being a senior member of the House, you should not repeat this way of doing things again. Thank you very much.
Which our technical team has gone through. Honorable Ssemujju. Yes. In fact, they should go. National Council of Sports, thank you for coming. you go and do talent identification and development, but you also play so that your terms don't lead us to non-communicable diseases. Thank you very much. Thank you.
We are pushing.
There are problems, many problems with this particular supplementary. If you read the law, when you are passing a budget, including a supplementary, entities are supposed to present Parliament procurement plans. These procurement plans are supposed to be scrutinized because they can be detailed. Where you're going to spend 260 billion, you've got to go through procurement plans. But too, if you look at this supplementary, it does not indicate what is development, what is recurring. It's a transplant, I think, from someone who's head into a request. And then, to make matters worse, it had illegally come to the committee, it had sneaked to the committee. And then the chair was saying, no, the speaker, because the speaker can only refer a document that has been brought to Parliament. So this casual way of looking at public business, that someone sends a letter to the speaker and the speaker sends the letter to the budget committee, must also stop. But also a supplementary 1 month to the closure of the financial year. Because you see, the reason you are issuing a supplementary is that you're going to deal with this matter that you cannot deal with in the next budget. No procurement plan, but even if the plans were there, you mean these fellows are going to spend 200 billion in 20 days? I don't know what has happened to Uganda, that these fellows can sit every day and originate a supplementary. But I have been told, when they were in cabinet, the budget kept growing up to 61 billion. Then they said, what do we do? You remove things that are emotional, that MPs will pass without scrutiny, because you have had MPs shouting, Akibwa Stadium, what stadium? So they said, these ones you can smuggle them to Parliament through a supplementary, because they know they are popular. We have AFCON, we need to construct facilities. But really, and these guys are intelligent, they are schooled. You don't follow the law, you don't follow the procurement. So really, I am waiting to see how Parliament will fidget with it tomorrow.
Yes, the supplementary request was sent to the committee. However, on scrutiny, we find that the committee can only process business of the House that the House will have chosen to refer to the committee instead of handling it as a whole House. So on looking at the communication of the supplementary, we found out that it was communicated on 13th, and the supplementary budget is solely business of the whole House. Therefore, from 13th, when the request was authored, the House has not yet sat. And since the House has not sat, it means the House has not handled that business. And the House has not considered it right to refer to the committee. Therefore, the committee was incapable of processing the supplementary request placed.
We understand you have a communication from the Speaker to process this.
Yes, the communication is there from the Speaker to process. And that's why we are saying we cannot just go by communication. It will still remain handling something that the House has not handled. The Speaker is not the House. The Speaker leads the House. And where you, by common sense, you are aware that the House has not sat, then you will be handling what you should not be handling.
Chair, did you find there is a different direction of communication to you? Because you know the law that guides that. Did it come to take it across to the committee to decide?
We don't cram the law. We cross the bridge when we get to it. So once something comes, we must sit. The chair doesn't become the committee. It's the committee which takes a decision. So when a communication has come to the chair has to bring it to the committee. At the time of discussion of the committee is when we arrive at a conclusion.
Tell us about the budget. When should we expect it, and what's there so far?
To expect it where?
To be read.
Tomorrow, Thursday. We expect it to be read tomorrow and supplied and approved.
How would you see it, like, sector-wise? What should we expect from the health, tourism, and so on?
We have not yet concluded. We don't want to serve what's not ready. We shall be discussing in anticipation, whereby we also have a rule which prohibits us discussing things in anticipation. Thank you.
Sengo bude buwongedde bagirese mu ngeri ya kifere amateeka gonna gamenya etteeka ligamba nti budget committee okutunuulira ennyongereza mu budget parliament yebeegiragidde butubuuza ekyamani nga ga speaker yandagidde ne speaker naye afugibwa amateeka engeri gyetutunuliramu ebintu ebiringa nga yakuzanya speaker ateeka okutuuza parliament era mulundi egimu batuyita ne bagaa nti waliwo mateno mujje speed ne balyoka bagisoma neryokwagenda mu committee eneze buzi bw'oba ogenda kuyisa ssente zonna kati teeka public finance bateekwa okulaga biki byezigenda okugula procurement plan ng'era bazitemyetemye bulungi zino zakugula mitayimbwa zino zakugula ki ate era oteekwa okulaga ezinasaasanyizibwa ku misaala n'ezinaakozesebwa mu kugula kati ng'okuzimba ebisawo oba seminti oba ki byonna tebabiraga oli alabuka yaloose buloosi koga weewuunya nti tugenda kuzimba bisaawe kiki kye basinziddeko okugamba nti zino zesente zetugenda okusaasaanya kye batayita mu palamenti so etteeka tebaligoberedde n'ebirala ebiri mu mateeka ng'okulaga ezine bezigenda tebabiraze kati mpulira nti bwe baatudde mu kabineti nga bajeti ya Museveni buli lunaku ekula yatandikira ku trilioni 22 52 53 58 nkaaga kati wange eri ku nkaaga mwemu ne waga nti musokolemu ebintu ebimu mugende mubise mu parliament kasaba kabeera nga babiwagira ebyo bisabe baadde bawogana nnyo mu bisabe kati ebyo kwe kubireeta kubange sente ze baleeta ezennongosereza mu budget nga obudde n'omwezi tegukyaweera no budget egweko ebintu byebagenda okwesa bagenda bigula ddi omanyi nti ebintu bya gavumenti mu mateeka osooka kumala kulanga mu mawulire n'olanga nti abanazimba ekisaawe abo ne balyoka baleeta ebiwandiiko ne bagenda mu komiti ne zituula eza contract ezaki kiyinza okutwalira gavumenti ebbanga ekitono nnyo myezi ng'esatu okuyita mu bino etteeka ligamba ebyo byo binagenda mu budget naye simanyi kibagezaako kufera It's going to be very difficult for anyone to absorb this money because the government procedures intended to protect taxpayers' money are they are too procedural, they are too many. In the remaining 20 days or 1 month to close the financial year, you cannot fulfill any of the requirements. I don't know why, but as I said, I think their intention, because the budget is growing too big, some of the things they want to bring them this way, so they are not part of the budget. Because this budget that you are closing in 3 weeks' time, how can you still be passing money to finance the same budget? But it's just a tactic.
How
buli kye bakola nga kimenya amateeka bw'oba oli mu gavumenti nga gwossa mu nkola amateeka tojja kwesiba ne wajja kubayo nnaku nga toli mu gavumenti kati olwo ogenda okujjukira nti kino nakola kyaki kubanga etteeka litegebwa osoma section 78 79 ne 80 eza public finance and management act zigamba nti buli mukozi wa gavumenti
amenye etteeka lino ye ng'omuntu agenda kuvunaanibwa. So kati bano be bayisaamu bino bireeta mu paalamenti beetegekera misango ginaabaluma mu bukadde.